Okay, morning guys. So today we are going to do page 21 of my chapter. So we're getting close to the end. We have about 8 pages left, which is exciting. So as usual for newcomers, I'll do a quick recap of what I do and then we'll dive into the drawing. So the way I like to panel my pages, generally speaking, is I start with a very rough layout, mostly to get an idea of the visual cues, which are usually going to be the heads of the characters and the speech bubbles. Once this is done, I like to move on onto a second phase, so it's slightly more detailed. And then we can add the panels and the text. So now what I'm going to do is add the speech bubbles and do a last draft. And then we will move on onto the actual outline, which would be the equivalent of the inking process in traditional manga. So this one might be a bit tricky because it's a top view, but I think we'll be fine. So I'm going to do that and see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, this is a bit further into the recording. I've never drawn a tree from a top view before, so that's going to be interesting. I've looked at a couple of references and usually speaking they kind of look like a big, it's a bit too like a big blob, which is, I don't know if you can see well. So they don't really have any specific shape to them. All I can decipher is that you kind of like patches on top of each other. So that might be tricky to reproduce, but we'll see. I think most of it is going to get down to the shading, but yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so I think we are done with the outline. As you may have noticed, I struggled quite a bit to draw the boy from the top view. It's kind of tricky to gauge how it actually looks. Maybe something I could comment on. So as I said before, to draw the trees from a top view, I kind of drew like little patches. And something that I did realize is that when you draw those patches, directionality is very important. So as an example, let's say you have different patches like this, right? So this is the center. Those circles here, which I really drew as like small particles, are going to be facing upwards, while those one are slightly going to be tilted towards the outside. I think it's a small detail that's kind of important to show volume, right? Because you could draw a small circle like this, which would give it the impression of facing this way. If you want a bit more flat, you could draw it like this, right? So just a cool detail I thought I might mention. But now we're going to move on to the shading, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so we just finished the shading, which was interesting. Something I've mentioned before is whenever you want to draw shadows of trees, you kind of want to leave small holes through the leaves because that's how the light behaves. It makes some very small holes. But okay, guys. So I just finished the shading. It was a bit of a tricky panel, but I think it's flows well enough that people understand what's going on based on the previous pages. And I'm going to do the rest of the page on my own, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, I stream my drawing on Twitch, so don't hesitate to follow. The link is in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.